The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome all to another gorgeous day at the headquarters of technical trading and investing. It's a special day because I'm in studio today. You can see my smiling face. The smiling Bob here today, just grinning ear to ear because it is such a gorgeous day. When we look at the markets and take the first blush out here, what do we see? And that is a market that's up almost 10 points on the S&P cash. But still seeing some weakness in certain pockets of the marketplace. And probably the most weakest sign that we have is low volume. Just 1.85 billion shares so far today. I suspect we're probably being set up and we're going to see some kind of surprise over the weekend. Okay. So, just trying to communicate with the individuals in the engineering booth. And they're saying, my screen is blank. Well, they should be watching me right now. They have no need to be watching charts or anything else. It's me right now. Me. But I do have the art of timing trade charts up and ready, of course. But we're going to have an interesting day out here. I think there's a lot we can learn, especially probably this week and next week. The press will not be our friends. They're going to jump on every headline, almost to the point of having witch doctors come out and prognosticate what's going to happen politically. Great deal of noise and not a lot of signal today, and I see all kinds of polls out that aren't worth the paper they're printed on. They are manufactured. In fact, I had an experience not too long ago that really gave me that. I actually had, I've got, of course, the two super trading puppies, El Diablo, and we've got Vixen, the super trading puppy, who's only 4 months old now. But took El Diablo to go get fixed, and of course the vet gave me a whole bunch of grief about not having the 4-month-old already fixed. I said, well, one, it's not a problem, and two, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, I'm probably going to wait until she has her first heat. Everything I've read out there says that helps them with their hormones, and that would be great. And of course, then I get a ration of crap from the doctor, and I'm thinking, really? Is this what you're telling me? I can't believe this is true. So anyway, I go home. I start digging around. She references a study about dogs having cancer, and I thought, well, okay. Maybe this is true. I'll go check. Well, what you find out is it's all pushed by a particular group that wants to make sure that dogs don't have puppies. When you actually dig back in and find the two reputable studies, the chance of cancer went from 5 in 1,000 to 6 in 1,000. And from the size of the study, it was statistically insignificant whether or not you wait until after your puppy has had her first heat, or whether she's 10 years old, on whether or not they get breast cancer or any other cancer. So how do these things get started? Well, I imagine someone starts spreading that first poll around, and of course everybody's trying to use it, and it's kind of the ends justify the means kind of thing. Of course, this is just a puppy. But I see so many studies and polls out today, and I look at them and I'm going, okay, who actually was pushing this poll? How did they ask the questions? Do you still beat your wife? Do you want to starve kids? Do you hate veterans? I mean, a lot of these are super loaded questions. And you could ask them either way. And if you dig into the polls, you want to look and see how they asked the question. Was it loaded? You know, there are always these things, but manufactured polls as news is nothing new. And again, you see this really fire up about this time of political cycle when it is nothing but the politics in the news. And for the most part, I tend to try to avoid the news in political cycles as much as I can. And I've refrained from giving many opinions this week. But if I do have to read stuff or news now on CNBC, I'm basically using closed caption. I don't want to hear the inference in their and the snide undertones of their voice. I'll just read what they said. In fact, many people, I think it happened in, maybe it was 1988. I think it was 1988. There's that famous picture of Dukakis in the tank with his squirrel helmet on, and everybody kept showing it and showing it and showing it. So the press all got together and said, you know, we're kind of affecting the elections here. How should we do this? And they said, well, show it as a TV on the screen so everybody understands that it doesn't have the full impact it used to have. Turn down the voices. Sometimes use subtitles instead of actually having the voice. They actually understood all the effects that it could have. I'm thinking, especially now, maybe it's a good time if you do watch the press, which I do. I started off not watching the press at all. And I think that's probably for the first 5 years or 6 years, it did me a real service. I talked to a lot of professional poker players over the years, and they all say the same thing. There is the point where they are playing their own cards, and when they get good, they start playing their opponent's cards. And I suspect I had to do it long enough to where I understood, had a good foundation, had a good belief in what I was feeling before I could actually take and look at things in the press. But, you know, not looking at earnings coming up, not looking at other things happening. You know, you can, news isn't all bad. The biggest problem is with opinion news and maybe like my poor puppy getting bad advice from a vet because she heard it from someone else that had a study that it had an axe to grind. But just interesting that I saw so many phony polls today. I'm trying to avoid it and keep a bright, sunshiny disposition out there. But we are going to watch a few more things. But the volume really is showing a lot of weakness in this market. We certainly don't have a lot of volume. A lot of times you don't have it for a Friday. And when we get back, I'm going to be, hopefully, if I can get it running, maybe I should show it right now. I think maybe I can do it right now, so give me just a second. See if I actually have it here. We were showing it over the last 2 days, and we'll go ahead here. See if I can. I've got a firewall issue on some things, so I'm just checking. Nope. Maybe I've got it on this. Hang on a second. Nope. I was going to show you my expiration smile curve, but it is being blocked by our firewall here at TFNN, which it was last time. That's why I showed it previous. I think I showed it on Wednesday. Anyway, the expiration is set up for the most amount of people to lose exactly at about 1690 on the S&P cash. But one of the things we did notice yesterday is after that giant rally, we started seeing the big guys of Wall Street come in and start buying lots of protection underneath. That when I'm meaning underneath, I'm talking about this next coming week and into November. So as soon as this market popped, The guys that had deep pockets saw the VIX drop. They were buying a lot of protection, which means that they're extremely nervous, although they go on CNBC and tell everybody it's a fait accompli, everything's over, don't worry about it, the whole thing's going to be over in a few minutes. I'm betting that come Monday morning we're going to have a rather horrible surprise. And if we don't, maybe we're 10 points higher on the S&P cash. I suspect if we do, we come in and we're 50 or 60 points lower on the S&P. But a lot of shorts just got squoze out of the marketplace. Options that are very, very low price, even though the VIX was, in the 15s today. So you've really got to be looking at what I called about, which is implied odds. Right now, the implied odds I'm buying puts is extremely big. Everybody's gotten washed out in the last week of expiration, and I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot now. Any further news on Apple new iPhone? I heard there was a problem with motion sickness. Yeah, there is, but people were getting sick before. Will the new iPad excite investors? I doubt it. Again, margins aren't high enough. It's all about the iPhone. And see what else. So what I'm saying, and we'll talk about it on the Tech Insider Hour, on the 4 o'clock hour on Tom O'Brien's show. I think that Apple has lost the hardware battle. It hasn't lost the software battle on the iPhone so far, but that is their biggest problem, especially when you look at the new Samsung phones out here and actually see them really pushing new inventions in hardware. This new curved one is very nice. I saw a prototype at Best Buy. It wasn't a real one. It was one of those fake ones that they put out on the aisle so someone didn't steal it. But put it in my pocket. I tell you what, that curved fits very good in your pocket. I don't think I'm going to be buying it. Right now, they're $1,000. The prices are really going to fall on the things fairly soon. But we've talked about graphene for a number of, probably 2 years now. This is the first significant product, I think, that's going to have a lot of dollar volume in the near future, where they're using the new form of carbon as a way to actually push the technology envelope. But it's you're not going to make any money harvesting graphene out of a carbon pit somewhere. It's all about what you do with it. And when we looked at that, we'll be talking about that tonight on the Tech Insider on the first hour of the Tom O'Brien Show. So make sure and catch me there. In the meantime, give me a call, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. And I appreciate your phone call. Anyway, we'll be back in just a moment. Just a gorgeous day down here in Clearwater. Had to turn my air conditioning off today. Huh. Oh, it was horrible.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is the only software package available with a built-in Gartley and Butterfly pattern scanner that will scan thousands of stocks, ETFs, and indices each day to find these patterns and then make them available to you with just a single click of your mouse. Tom O'Brien and Dave White will be hosting a live event for all Art of Timing the Trade Chart subscribers on October 16th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And for a limited time, we're offering a promotion where new signups can gain access to this powerful charting software, as well as the live study session workshop coming up this Wednesday night for only $1. That's right, $1 for the whole month with the class included. Remember, this offer is only good till this coming Wednesday night when the workshop takes place live with Tom O'Brien and Dave White, so don't delay. For all the details, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we come back, got through the firewall during the break and just wanted to show you what had happened. We basically had a market that was set up going into Wednesday morning that pointed to an expiration around 1700 on the S&P cash. Basically, yesterday into the close out there, we had a lot of people buying protection and moved it down in just a matter of minutes, 10 points down on the S&P cash. So now we're looking at somewhere around probably 1690. So there's a little bias to the downside right now. But one thing that this market does not have is a lot of resilience for looking at what's going to happen in a surprise if we were to get one. We'll say like after the weekend, they start throwing rocks at each other. What happens Monday morning when we come in? And I hadn't checked it lately, but let me check the news just to make sure I haven't missed anything here about what's going on. It's hard to say. No agreement yet. Just wanted to make sure nothing had happened. My guess is that we're going to see this drag on, but I have a feeling right now that the Speaker of the House probably making agreements he cannot back up. They're about 200 congressmen that are probably not going to go along with a lot of what he has to say. So he's got to rely on a few Republicans that will, and most of the Democrats. But I still don't think he has the votes from everything I read in Capitol Hill. So I have a feeling that a lot of this is way premature and, of course, already built into the marketplace. So what do we see happen? Anyway, I'm going to be watching this. We'll talk about it Monday. My guess is from watching what's happened today, this is probably going to end up yet another 10 points down by the end of the day, so probably 1680. So what we are watching almost in real time is people making bets on where the S&P will expire on Friday. Now, there's a couple stocks that do extremely well with this technique. One is Apple, the other one's IBM. So those are other ones, if you really are following this, that you'd want to look at. Now, I'm doing Apple right now. Hopefully we'll make it through the firewall. Fairly interesting in Apple. The options are basically pointing that we should be somewhere around 1475 to 1480. So we're not that far away almost on everything. There's a few stocks out there that are really doing good. I've got two shorts now, actually three, one ETF and two stocks themselves. I'm not quite prepared to pull the trigger going short on the indexes themselves, but will be interesting. I'm just watching that here. Yeah, 1702 on the S&P cash. We still don't even have 2 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange. You have to be very understanding that this could be a very fragile marketplace. It would not take a great deal to change what's going on with this extremely light volume rally. Even on Thursday, I had 3.4 billion shares on the consolidated tape. I would have expected 5 billion if we'd done everything. At the moment, all I can see is that when the market goes up, it looks like the shorts cover, and that's about it. If we would have seen another 1.5 billion shares, I would have said, hey, everybody's getting in. Some of the other news that I did see this week, and I didn't get the chance to talk about it, was CNBC having its lowest ratings in 20 years. So that takes us back to the early 90s, the real big move in the stock market. And I'm wondering what that tells us about it. I have my own suppositions, but I suspect it's telling me that the retail investor is still nowhere to be seen, and it's only the pros selling to the other pros in this market for the great deal. Like I've said before, in 1999, 2000, I used to go to a church that had hosted a trading night, I think Tuesday night, and there used to be 500, 1,000 people pack into this church. And, last time I went, about 50 or 40. But that was like 2003. The whole retail investor client base is really what's needed to be out there because if you're going to push a stock up, you've got to be able to find someone to sell it to. And right now, I think they're all just pushing it up. But it's pretty tough to get out of a stock and push it to someone else without the retail investor. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And just wanted to remind everybody that Wednesday night we're going to have a special webinar with Tom O'Brien and I. We're going to be going through some of the new features of the art of timing the trade charts, if you're not familiar with it. And for $1, you can get a 30-a-day trial. Actually, not a trial. You'll be able to subscribe to it for the first month for $1. And you can do that now. Have lots of things to think about when we get ready for our last one. We talked a lot about confluence levels, and a lot of those came in. Maybe we'll revisit a few of those on Wednesday night. And Tom's got something special planned that he's been working on. I caught him in the elevator on the way up to do the show today. So we'll find out what he's got up his sleeve, probably maybe in the 4 o'clock hour. But going to be nice. Now, of course, he's going to be talking about gold. I'm wondering if it'll be 4:30 before we get to any technology, because certainly everybody's going to be thinking about gold. His thinking, my thinking, probably the only difference was I was thinking we didn't have a bottom in yet, and that's why I didn't buy the last trip down to 1,200. We are actually in a area now that has been a gap area for so many times. Actually, 3 gaps right on this level. So you got to know this is a pretty critical level, right at the 123 level on GLD, and of course right at this 265 level on gold itself. Of course, GLD doesn't trade for the first hour that, or hour and a half that the gold contract actually does. Now at, what was it, 8:42, 8:45, something like that this morning, there was a 5,000 unit order for the futures to be sold, which actually shut down the gold market for several minutes. Now, this was a market order, which means probably one thing. Someone made a huge mistake, which I don't believe, or what you as a trader never want to ever face, which is a margin call. My guess is that this thing was down 20 bucks or so, or 15 bucks. It hit the level, and the guy at the desk hit the button. You don't get a phone call. You don't get spit with futures. They just sell you out and collect the cash before they go too far down the rabbit hole with you. And that is the one difference with futures. Options a lot better. You've got a lot more staying power. And why I've traded futures most of the time, I think the risk-reward platform for options is much better if you're going to go a little bit farther out on options than at the money or in the money. But off at $31 right now on the gold contract. The volume in contracts before I left to do the show certainly looked like we're going to get 1,200. And of course, you needed a close probably back above that 1275, 1277 area to get a buy signal anyway, if the volume would have been lighter. So we are congruent. We are getting lower prices and accelerated volume, at least in the contract. And when we look at what's the GLD telling us right now? Go on just a second, and we'll look to see what the volume is. Where's my little GLD? Come on, come to daddy. 13.8. What's that going to give us out there? That's certainly going to give us everything we need. Hang on just a second. Let me make this chart correct. Which is going to be there. Now that will be correct. Okay. So when we're looking at this thing, we are having increased volume. When we had that gap back here a while back, it was 11.3 million shares on the GLD, that gap up. And of course, this gap is I mean, it goes way, way back. Let's see if I can find it on even longer charts. This thing goes back forever. Okay. Yeah. It becomes so insignificant after a matter of time, it doesn't even matter. But you've got two gaps. The first one was a gap down on heavy volume of 24.7 million shares on, what was that, June 26th. Same gap down with almost 25 million shares. So we are coming back into that down gap. But of course, it gapped right over it last time it went up on lighter volume, which was one of the things I didn't like about the GLD either, which was you really needed to go across that particular one. But now we're testing this one. It is going to be on a lighter volume of 13 million shares. So it's going to be interesting. Now the question is, do we go back and test that 1114.68 on the GLD and, of course, on the gold contract itself down below 1,200 bucks? I would say you're probably looking at 80-85% chance that we do get at least hit 1,200. Probably 70% chance we hit the whole low. I think we could get into that, and that would be it. But either way, you're probably going to want to wait for some confirmation down at the lows. But certainly doesn't look good for gold, at least over the last or the next 15 days, and especially when we're starting to see things and the news come out about forced liquidation of gold future contracts. That tells me a lot. We also heard some big yelling and screaming from, who was it yesterday? Goldman Sachs. That said gold was a screaming sell. And interestingly enough, they were the same ones that stepped in and bought 10,000 future contracts on the way up. Now they're the same one probably squeezing their own customers out on the way down. It is a blood sport, and certainly you don't want to be on the other side of what Goldman Sachs is going to set. Anyway, me, not I, Dave, have poor grammar. Huh? Oh, I don't even know what I said to get it. NEM going to hit 21. I bet NEM. Probably a good chance out here. Let's go back and look at just a little longer. Wow. You have to go back several years to find that 21. But there it is, October 27th, 2008. Yeah, it's going to be there. Anyway, you can always give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And let's see a few other stocks out here that are in play that I wanted to get to. Solar City, SCTV. They were able to spike this one. Again, it looked like a lot of people were shorting the stock. Technically, it looked pretty horrible. Unfortunately, it had very high short interest. And this is another one of the Elon Musk companies. And I think they're engineering their short squeezes very well in this company. But 13 million shares back up. Looks like they're going to try to push this thing back up to the $52 level one more time. And if all the volume falls out right there at that spot, I think maybe we may have a good spot to start picking away at this one. I think it's highly overdriven. We talked about MU a little bit more. We actually have some movement in the stock that most people probably thought was dead. That is a POT, potash. Actually getting, a little bit of signs of life, but this thing came right back up. But it's now in kind of a very narrow trading range from about 31 to a little more. Let me zoom in on this just a little bit better. What can you say? 7.8, 6.1. Probably going to be enough volume to break the previous low out here. This thing had a huge volume low of 25 million shares back at 28.55 on August 2nd. Of course, that is the whole Russian cartel for fertilizer being blown up. But probably a pretty good indication that we're going to come back to that 28.55 low of August 2nd. And when we do, probably going to get lighter volume out here. It may take a while to get in there. Anyway, we've got Ron from Denver on the line, so we're going to go right to him. How you doing, Ron?
Hello there, sir. I just was listening, but I maybe misunderstood you, and you were talking about what the option people were looking for on Apple.
Yeah, for about 475.
Okay, I had heard 1475, and I just
no.
And I just wanted to clarify if I had heard you, or if you meant 475, or I heard it wrong.
Now, this thing's going sideways, and there's a lot of bets above it, a lot of bets below it, and the option market makers would love this thing to go out somewhere between 480, 470, and it looks to me like 475 is probably the perfect number, but we'll watch over the next few days. Options have a tendency to track in, but I'm thinking this is maybe one of the few times when option market makers get it very wrong, and what I mean by that is that if you're wrong, you're probably going to be a little wrong if you buy puts now. If you're right, you're going to be horrendously right. And this has been a gift from the trading option gods out here. I'm going to be looking very hard at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of buying way out of the money puts for a dime and a nickel. Probably, I'm thinking my odds are probably 25% that I win. But a lot of these are going to be 10 and 20 and 30 to 1 payoffs if they work out. So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment.
How high, if you wanted to do, say, like a call spread at for next week's expiration, how high would you go to consider yourself? Maybe 500, 505?
I wouldn't be doing it.
You wouldn't do that?
No, I would not be. I wouldn't have any spreads on. I would be buying puts, way out of the money puts. I'd be finding them at a dime and a nickel and a quarter. I don't think I'd be in any other position, because there is probably only a little to the upside, and you're probably going to see 70% chance it hits that. There's that 20 or 30% chance that we get a 200-point move down in 2 days.
All right.
That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem. Is the best I see is 1730 for next week, and there's probably a 70-60% chance we get that. The problem is that's only 30 points higher. We get a big surprise next week. The way that this market is set up, you get a big surprise. You can see 200 points in the S&P cash in a few days.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
So I just
very
wouldn't.
much.
Yeah, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be. If I was doing it, I'd be buying lottery tickets next week and not buying traditional call spreads.
No, what I was talking about was selling a call spread.
Right.
Selling it and selling the 500s and hoping it would stay under that.
You could do that. I just, to tell you the truth, what happens if they do come out and sing Kumbaya on Monday morning?
Yeah, or Icon wants.
Yeah, or he decides to manipulate it. I don't think he's going to. This thing's been going sideways for 10 days, and I think what he's going to try, my guess would be that the next manipulation from Icon comes with the release of the next iPads.
Okay.
You can only bang on the drum so often and get a result from stock operations by going out there and showing up on CNBC and yelling and screaming about the new product. But the iPhone's over. They've got a date, I think. Is it the 17th or the 18th? I'm going to have to check now. But I think maybe it's even the 25th where they're going to roll out the iPads. And my guess is that's when the next real big move. So if the government thing was solved, we come in Monday morning, it's all solved, and Apple doesn't move at all, I would go for the Euro call spread.
Yeah.
But I need that government part out and the potential for a surprise. I think everybody's way overestimated the ability for the Tea Party side to agree to anything that they're forced into. They don't have to. Most of them are in very secure, solid states, and they don't have to. And so no matter how much pressure they come from, I'm not buying it just yet until I see them actually capitulate and start voting, because I just don't think the votes are there today. Maybe they are next week. But I have a feeling this thing isn't getting solved till Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Okay.
So, okay?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You bet. Okay. So we've got a few other movements out here. Anyway, we were looking at Apple. We were looking at POT, STE. Safeway came out with numbers. No big deal. Infinity, MP, GPS. Always thought it was funny. Of course, the global positioning satellite companies only come out. I'd been talking about months how poorly the retail clothes stores have been doing. Everybody's spending their money on iPads and iTunes and this and that, and not spending it on clothes. Every one of these clothes companies that has been in the teen or young adult apparel business has been biting the big one. And, of course, today it's the Gap. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
TFNN has just announced a special sale for 2 weeks only for the Gold Report. To celebrate the 600th weekly issue of Tom O'Brien's Gold Report being published on October 22nd, TFNN is having a special one-time sale. From now until October 22nd only, you can receive 60 weeks of the Gold Report. That's 14 months for only $600. We're offering Tom O'Brien's dynamic weekly newsletter at only $10 a week, which is almost half off the regular monthly price. The Gold Report is published every Tuesday and provides subscribers with Tom O'Brien's expert commentary on the industry, as well as detailed information on a variety of mining equities. Take advantage of this one-time special offer and pay only $600 for 60 weeks of the Gold Report. This offer is valid for current or new subscribers. Everyone is welcome to take part in this special promotion as we celebrate the 600th weekly issue of the Gold Report. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we were talking about the gap. I had to laugh my rear end off because on the way here, I had to drop my dog off to get it clipped, so decided to I had a little bit of extra time this morning. I started at 6 a.m. this morning, and it was very interesting. So I started off early, decided to drop by the dog park, let the dog run around a little bit before I took it up to drop it off to get clipped while I'm doing the shows today, and pick him up later. So I had a little extra time, ended up getting a little lunch, pulled under this tree where it was nice and shady. And there was a bus stop right next to it. And I thought this was over. I thought this was over 5 years ago. But there was this moron, no shirt, boxer shorts, and pants, well, probably mid-thigh. In fact, I could start to see a little bit of his leg on one leg through the boxer shorts. I'm thinking, how does anybody like that walk? And two, has this guy ever watched Dorf? You know, those videos making fun of everybody that looks like that? You know, I don't know. I guess no brains, no headache. But certainly I think he had an iPhone, dressed like a moron, but had an iPhone. But everywhere I go, all these American Eagle, all these other clothiers, it just seems like none of them are really finding a lot of business. People willing to spend their money on big screen televisions, on fancy tablets and iPhones and smartphones and the like, and not on a great deal of clothes these days. Was absolutely surprised to see Gap up in the 46s. I think that was a lot of social engineering to get that thing up there. Certainly a great operation for whoever was running it. But pretty much back to about the mid-30s. This thing has not had any volume. And, of course, you've got a huge day out here where this thing went down back on, what was it, the 4th of December of 2012 on earnings. I remember that day. My guess is this thing's solidly going to go back for the bottom of that, which is $30.94. Somebody was saying something in the den, and it just made me think of all the great sayings from Yogi Berra. And it's he had a lot of them. He always said, you can observe a lot by watching. And always go to other people's funerals. Otherwise, they won't go to yours. You know, a bunch of them out here. What are the rest of them? When giving directions to Joe Garagiola to his New Jersey home, which is accessible by 2 routes, he said, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. Always had a way with words out here. The other one is a general comment on baseball. 90% of the time, the game, 90% of the game is half mental. Which is always, just had to sit there and mess with your head. Just looking to see if there's anything else out here with the last few minutes we have in the show. Let's see, what do we have? I need, where's my portfolio? There it is. Let's just check this. Some of these things just don't go along fast enough for us here on the air. And what do we got? Okay. I don't see anything in here. Still 1,700, 2.1 billion shares. We got no volume, folks, and we've made another push. Even yesterday's huge move that took all day only had 3.4 billion shares. So there is no movement on this. I am looking for a surprise come Monday morning. At least that's me. Anyway, we will see you in the 4 o'clock hour of the Tom O'Brien Show. If not, same bat channel, same bat time, Monday.
Are you ready to ride the next bull market wave? Catch the Chapman Wave. Using the Chapman Wave methodology, Basil's very comprehensive daily newsletter, The Opening Call, gives the short, intermediate, long-term analysis for the key indexes. In his Trader's Corner, he gives a brief market summary and expectation for the day with possible trades, both long and short, which are reviewed daily. A position subscribers sold recently for a 42% on parts, plus a 64% on rest. At Hertz Global, as a core position for 6 months before exiting the position. A current position, entered as a turnaround company with good technicals based on Basil's waveform, is trading up to 170% of its entry point as a portion sold earlier for a 21% gain. Subscribers to The Opening Call can see the Chapman Wave techniques demonstrated and explained daily to educate investors. To get your 2-week free trial to The Opening Call, just visit the front page of TFNN.com. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on TFNN.